Their histories are different, and yet the stories of these two Kuwaitis are linked. On August 2nd, 1990, Sabah al-Reyes was in China on a business trip. That was the day that Iraq invaded and conquered Kuwait. He remained outside the country throughout the 7-month occupation, eventually returning as a uniformed member of the U.S. Army's Corps of Engineers. Ghanem al-Najjar is a professor at Kuwait University. He was at home when the Iraqis invaded, where he remained until the closing days of the war, when, along with thousands of other Kuwaitis, he was arrested and taken to Iraq. We'll begin here at Kuwait's parliament, because parliament's revival is one of the most visible changes in Kuwait since the war. We also begin here because Kuwait's struggle for democracy is tied to its legacy of war and occupation.
When the invasion took place, we had no parliament, and censorship was effective at that time. So I think that was, democracy was really seen as a higher value than before.
I really felt that the people that were inside Kuwait, they were not given, responsibilities after, because, the people that were in charge before the occupation came and took those positions.
Yeah, that might be so, but I think this is, resentment is there, but it's not destructive.
At Kuwait University, some courses, like Professor al-Najjar's political science class, are segregated by sex. The status of women is always a hot topic here. Women do not have the right to vote, and when Kuwait's emir tried to give it to them, he was overruled by parliament. Though Sabah al-Reyes was outside the country during the occupation, his wife remained. Women, he says, essentially ran the country, preserving Kuwaiti society.
I was really expecting that women be given a greater role, after liberation, as a result, of this 7 months of real test. I'm disappointed to see that really they did not.
After liberation, there was fear of deep divisions between those who stayed and those who didn't. Neither man sees those as significant today, but lately, conversations here are returning to the invasion, the occupation, and liberation in '91. Many Kuwaitis strike a pessimistic note when they apply lessons from the past to the future.
It's difficult to say that we have learned a good lesson. I think still, unfortunately, I think we're underestimating the danger that is around us.
As time goes by, I think things are getting back to as we were before the invasion. But everybody says that we will never forget. I think people are forgetting.
War and occupation scar a society, sometimes in ways that are not immediately obvious. This is Kuwait's National Museum. 13 years ago, it housed one of the world's most important collections of Islamic art. From the outside, it appears to be in pretty good shape. But here inside, things look very different. The museum is a shell, and a large part of its collection remains unaccounted for. It's one of the few buildings in Kuwait that was not restored to its pre-invasion condition, remaining sturdy on the outside, but inwardly scarred. Gordon Robison, CNN, Kuwait.